Hi guys, and welcome to Debbie's Rusty Brush. I'm Deborah Straight, I'm the owner and artist here, and today's video what we're going to do is some trash treasure thrift flips. I'm going to the booth tomorrow, so I want to get a few things done, and I went yard selling this morning and found a few treasures. I also have some that I've had here that I need to go through and get done to get over there. So we're just going to do a couple of things today. I just want to remind you that if you like my videos, if you like my content, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, with anybody that you think might like my videos. It helps my channel grow. I really appreciate it. And like I said, today is a thrift flip video, and so I hope that you like what we do. All right, we're gonna get started here. I'm just gonna turn you over here a little bit. I found these gorgeous canisters at a yard sale this morning, and what is so unusual is both of them have the spoons with them. That very, very rarely happens, and so I was really excited about that, and I got these for $1 for the pair. All right, so I did clean them up. I took a Clorox wipe to them, got them good and clean, but I want to refresh these spoons. So I'm just taking some 220 sandpaper and just sanding them ever so slightly to get, if you'll notice here, how the top of this is discolored. It gets that way just because sitting in a kitchen, there was a lot of kitchen oil, grease, dirt on there, and I don't want to pass that on to my customer. So we are just going to give that a good sand, get back down to some good wood here. And we'll do the other one as well, but I'm going to do it off camera so you guys don't have to sit forever and watch. Okay guys, we have the spoons all good and sanded down, and what I'm going to do is I have got some wood and bamboo conditioner, and I'm just going to put some of that on a paper towel and condition these back up again, so that they're all clean and ready to go to their new owner. Let's get a little more here. A whole spoon and the inside as well. Inside edge. All right. So that is all conditioned back up, and as you can tell, it has a lot more, it's darker. It has more condition than the one we haven't done yet. So let's go ahead and get plenty of this on here and get this one done. All right. So we have that all conditioned up and ready to go. And I am going to take a Clorox wipe to my hands because I don't want that grease all over my hands. So I am just going to get my hands good and dried off here. Good and cleaned of all that oil and residue, and then we'll dry my hands. Now, what we are going to do with these is put a transfer over. So I have Redesigned by Prima, and this is the classic vintage labels. And so these are just a bunch of labels here, and that is what we're going to do here. So on this one, I picked this Jolie Jardin Paris, and we're just going to place it on here, up there, and the glass is good and clean. I cleaned it, and so we're just going to rub this on try to get this good and adhered. So when we pull it off, it all stays down. And hopefully you can see what I'm doing there. You see none of it is coming up. Now when I get down towards the end here, I do go ahead and hold right here where the end of that is. So if something does pull up, I can lay it right back down and put it down. But it all came off really, really well. So then I just like to burnish it and make sure that it's on there really, really good. Now, of course, you don't want to stick these in the dishwasher, and you want to be careful scrubbing this area here. But we are going to take just a little bit, and I haven't tried this yet, so we're going to try it. But let's get this one on. And this one too I have cleaned. We're just going to make sure it's good and dry. This particular one has this off just a little bit. Let's see if I can get that back on correctly. Okay. All right, so on this one I picked Paris Cafe, and I am going to go ahead and trim this down a little there. All right, and then we're just going to do this. Now remember that once this touches the glass, it is where it is. And so we won't be moving it after that. So you want it to be as straight as possible from the get-go. Now, we're just going to rub this on really well. Now another trick is that you can, working something round, you can bunch up a towel and lay it in the towel so that your round piece of whatever you're doing does not move. But in this case, I was able to do this standing up and it wasn't a problem. So let's go ahead and make sure that we're all stuck. Again, holding so that if we get down here to the end and something isn't stuck, we can go through and make sure that it's good and adhered. So with this one, we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to burnish it on there because we want to make sure that it sticks really, really well. And it does stick really well to glass. And so that you don't need to worry about, but still it is a transfer, and of course will come off with a lot of use. So what I am going to try, I have never tried this, guys, but I am going to give it a go. I have got, this is a Krylon triple thick crystal clear glaze. It's bright glass-like coating, superior high gloss finish, non-firing glaze for bisque, plaster, and more. Easy push spray. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a light coat right over to seal this here, just to help out. All right, and we'll set that to the side, and we'll do one on this one. I'm going to lift this up, however. So I'm just going to seal that in so that hopefully it doesn't have any issues. Making sure And I'm not running down here on the end. All right. So then we're just going to take our hair dryer and help that dry. Let the rest of it dry naturally so that we don't have any lifting or anything. But that should help that from lifting if somebody gets a little carried away with cleaning. And so that's what we want to do, is just to help with that process. Now, what I've got here on my Lazy Susan is some where'd we go? Press and seal. And that helps keep that surface clean for each project so that you don't have things lifting up or you're not being stuck waiting for whatever you did the time before to dry. And so I'm just going to put some press and seal on here, and we're going to move on to our next project. All right, so our next project is, I have had this basket for a long time, and it's super cute, but it's been in my store or my booth for a while, and it has not sold. So it is turning that time of year where we want to get some fall decor going in the shop. So I thrifted these, and although they're super cute, they're a little outdated. So we're going to give them an updated feel. And get them ready for fall. And see what we think about that. I want something a little darker to help cover up here. And so let's just go in with some Fancy Farm Girl. And okay guys, so we have our jars all dry and ready to go. So I rolled up a towel here. It will keep my jar from shifting on me, or that's the plan. And I picked out a couple of stamps here from the crockery stamps from IOD. And I did go through with a 220 grit sandpaper and seasoned those. And so now I'm just going to lay this down here, and I'm going to do this without a mat, and we're going to do our best not to shift. We're doing this with black ink. And I'm going to try to go right in the center here, press it down. All right, so not perfect. We did get a little shifting on this side right here, and I did have some that was down on the edge of my stamp, but that's okay. We want rustic. We're gonna fly with that. I'm gonna put this over here, grab our other one, pick the side I want it on. So how about right there? And let's do the same thing to this one with a different stamp, of course. Okay, and then let's pick this up. Try to get it as close to center as possible. We want it to kind of match with that one. So all right. And that one too is upside down. All right, guys. Well, you see, we should pay attention to what we're doing. So on this one, we're just going to go ahead and paint over it because it is only paint. And so we'll go ahead and paint over this one, and then we'll re-stamp. Get right here where I smudged this one while we're at it. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull the hairdryer out and give that a quick dry. Put a little bit more ink on our stamp pad here. Just kind of swoosh that around. Good and in there. All right. And then we're going to take another look at this and make sure. Yep, okay, so this side is my top. So let's that good and inked. Again, let's see about where our even is. And then do this again. Only right side up. How about that? Now, the more you practice with these, the better that you get. I have not done a lot with these yet. And so that is that one. And then we're going to let that dry. It doesn't take long to dry. Once it dries, it is permanent. And so hence why we went back over it with paint. Okay, but on that one, I did not get any shifting or any smeared from my thumbs or anything. Okay, so then we're gonna go ahead and take both of our stamps and just clean them. So you can clean them with a baby wipe, you can clean them in the kitchen sink. But you do want to make sure that you get them clean for the next time that you use them. And it's always easier if you clean them right away. So we're just going to, and especially if you're using paint, guys, because that will build up around the lettering and cause your lettering to not be as crisp and clean. Alright, so we have those cleaned. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take Dixie Belle's Easy Peasy Spray Wax, and I'm just going to spray this and then take a cloth and wipe it. And let's get some Easy Peasy Spray Wax on this one. Take the cloth and wipe it. And that is reactivating just a little bit on our paint there. And I'm okay with that because it had this nice cream color underneath. And so it's pulling that up. I just want to be very careful and not to get any of the design that they had painted on there. So I'm okay with that being a bit distressed. Let's see if we can get this one to distress. Just a little bit. Come on. Let's see, maybe if we add a little more spray wax there, we can get that to distress back a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Just don't want, like I said, to distress back the image that was painted on there before. We just want that nice pretty background that they had. Alright. And then I'm going to go ahead, because I want to soften this a little bit. I don't know what I did with the lid to that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take some white wax. And I don't clean my wax brushes. I just have a different brush for every color. And then I just heat it up. I just heat it up to get that wax moving in there. And then I just want to go through and I want to do a white wax on this just to bring out, soften it up a bit, bring out some of those brush strokes, which I do like because I like that handmade feel to it. And then we just take a buffer and just kind of buff that around a little bit. Lock it back. Get down into all those grooves. And so that is how that turns out with the white wax on there, and I like that. So what I'm going to do is white wax the other one, and then we will come back and I will have this ready and styled so that you can see what it looks like when it's all done. Okay guys, so this is how that turned out, and it's got our fall colors in there, and they would be really cute all by themselves without the basket, but I'm hoping that somebody will like the combination and I can get that basket sold. All right, and so our last thrift flip is this little bamboo tray. It's got the little handles there. It's in really good shape. It's good and clean. I'm going to go ahead and give it just a quick scuff sand here, just so that when I put some of the wax or the oil on, it sinks in really well. All right, so all we're going to do with this, because I really like the way it looks without doing anything extraordinary to it. Now I have used this stamp before, so it has been seasoned, but I am going to go ahead and just season it again. Really quick, like, take a paper towel and wipe this to make sure all of our dust and such is off there. All right, and so we're just going to do what we've been doing with our other stamp. And so we're just going to ink up our sheep. And then we're going to put him down here, hopefully in the center, or as close to the center as possible. Right there. And we're not going to shift him, we're just going to press down on him. Get that ink to go where we want it to go. And then we're going to take a little, looks really good, but we do have just a little bit of ink down here that we didn't want. So we're going to see while it's wet if we can get it off, and if not, I can sand it a bit. All right, so we just put a sheep on there. We're going to let that dry really good. And then I'm going to put some wood and bamboo conditioner on here, but I don't want my ink to smear. Once it dries, it will be solidified, it will be there. There won't be any moving it around, but we want it to get good and dry first. So we're going to clean off our stamp here. Good and clean, and then we are going to take just a little bit of sandpaper and see if we can, let's see if we can get this little area we didn't want there off. Before we put a seal coat on. Alright, let's cut that off. That's dry, so we'll just take some of our oil, and you could do wax as well. This makes it more food safe so that if somebody wanted to put food right down on it, they could and not have an issue. And so whenever possible, I will try to make these food safe. Just because I don't know how people are going to utilize them. Alright, and even though I did not sand the rest of this, I am going to give it a quick coating, just so that the wood itself has some conditioner to it, because I don't know when the last time anybody conditioned this, and so I want to make sure that it is good and ready for whoever purchases it. Alright, we'll let that sink in, and then I'll do a buffing to it, but that is basically going to be it. So we have our sheep tray, and we have our little fall bouquet, and then we have our 2 canisters. And I will probably put the canisters at $9.95 each, and I will put this bouquet thing probably with the flowers probably $14.95, and this tray will probably be $14.95 as well. Now, that is what we've got for today. And I hope that you, like I said, we will buff this after it sets a bit. So I hope that you liked this video, and if you did, again, please give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Subscribe to my channel, helps my channel grow. If you have any comments or questions, please put them down in the comment section and I'll get back to you. It seems as though this worked pretty well. Now I don't know how well it's going to hold up as far as washing, but it's going to be better than just having the transfer on there without having that clear coat. And it didn't, I mean, it did seem to keep the sheen and the shine and everything. So all in all, I'm very pleased with that triple thick. So if you do not want the glass or the sheen like it already had, you would not want to use this, but this is just Krylon clear glaze, and it seemed to work really, really well. All right, thank you, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.